Good night. Welcome to Teleislas News, the most relevant and important information of the day. An outbreak of COVID-19 has been detected again at the New Hope Prison Center. The infected persons are in isolation and are being studied to determine if they are related to the new variant.
The departmental government, through the Secretariat of Health, informs the public that an outbreak of COVID-19 has been detected in the facilities of the New Hope prison. The infected people are isolated and under study to determine if they are related to the new variant BQ1, which is present in the country. The Secretary of Health, Etel Castro Manuel, calls on the community to keep a physical distance, avoid crowded places, and in case of severe symptoms, isolate themselves and go to their respective health insurance companies. Likewise, all inhabitants of the archipelago are invited to complete the vaccination schedule at the points established by each EPS and IPS presented in the department. On the other hand, the Ministry of Health in a communication today recalls the mandatory use in 3 scenarios: public transportation, medical services, and nursing homes.
Governor Everett Hawkins held a meeting with the Secretary General of the OAS to discuss strategies for the benefit of Afro-Colombian peoples.
The Governor Everett Hawkins, who is president of the Association of Municipalities with Afro Population, AMUNAFRO, was in the city of Washington of the United States, where he met with the Secretary General of OAS, Luisa Magro, in which they agreed to develop lines in cooperation for Afro-descendant communities.
In order to continue in the fight against poverty and inequality, and above all to seek international support with the resources to advance strategies to end the inequality that exists in the Pacific, Atlantic, and throughout our national geography. We held meetings yesterday with the Secretary General of the OAS, Dr. Almagro, together with our ambassador to the OAS, our Minister Consular Oscar Gamboa, where we talked about these strategies to combat inequalities. We are building a large network of national and international support for resources with technical support to achieve large-scale projects for the benefit of all Afro-Colombian people in Colombia.
The local governor emphasized that these meetings are of vital importance for the department and other national and international territories. It should be noted that the governor of the archipelago, Everett Hawkins, is one of the 3 Afro governors in Colombia.
From December 5th to the 9th, oral hearings will be held before the International Court of Justice on Nicaragua's claims to extend its continental shelf 200 nautical miles.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that on December 5th, oral hearings will be held before the International Court of Justice. This time, it is about the lawsuit on the question of the delimitation of the continental shelf between Nicaragua and Colombia beyond 200 nautical miles from the Nicaraguan coast. The processes before the International Court of Justice are divided in 2 phases, one written and one oral. Between 2016 and 2018, the written stage of the case was developed and will now begin its oral stage. The court's rules of procedure establish that the hearings are aimed at addressing the points that still separate the parties without restating everything that has already been dealt with in the written pleadings, now simply repeating the facts and arguments already invoked therein. For this reason, during 1 week, Nicaragua will present orally the main arguments on which it bases its claims, and Colombia will do the same and will present orally its argument against Nicaragua's claims. These hearings are public and will be broadcast live and in real time on the ONU website. The legal team will be led by Eduardo Valencia Ospina, agent, Carolina Olarte Bacares and Elizabeth Taylor, co-agents, Gabriel Cifuentes, advisor, and from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Andres Villegas Jaramillo, ICJ Affairs Coordinator.
In recent days, a collection day was held for post-consumer waste that was not properly disposed of during the year. The activity was carried out in a joint work of entities, local companies, and programs of the same nature that work on reaching every corner of Colombia, removing those elements that may not have a proper disposal. They generate pollution in the environment.
In a journey effort by several public and private entities, a post-consumer waste collection day was held, where a collection point was set up of individuals in San Andres, located at the Coral Palace Plaza. Once the collection was completed, the waste was organized for environmentally responsible management and subsequent removal from the island.
Nosotros como programas post-consumo evacuaremos.
As post-consumer programs, we will evacuate more than 9 tons of waste that will go to management plants that comply with their environmental license to make use of and treat the waste. The waste that we cannot treat will be disposed of in sanitary landfills or in safety cells that comply with safe environmental management for waste disposal.
Esos residuos, pues si no se disponen bien.
If this waste is not disposed of properly, it can generate contamination, and if it reaches the sanitary landfill, it can cause negative impacts to the soil and water. For us, it is very important that they take advantage of these spaces where we will give a good final disposal to this type of waste.
It should be noted that the total amount of waste collected during this campaign was approximately 4,343 kilograms. Likewise, last year, more than 8,000 kilograms of waste were removed from the archipelago. On the other hand, between 2010 and 2019, 585,459 tons of post-consumer waste were managed, which represents 75% of the total goal.
Teleislas News reports the result of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and Fiscal Review of elections for the period 2022-2023.
Rosemary Ramirez Agames was elected as the statutory auditor of the Chamber of Commerce and Diana Marcela Huertas as substitute, according to the results of election of the Board of Directors of the Chamber of Commerce and the statutory auditor for the period 2022-2026.
Tuvimos 2 puestos de votación, uno en San Andrés.
We had 2 voting points, one in San Andres and another in Providence. We were accompanied by the superintendents of services so that transparent elections were carried out, and the result was given after closing at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
The Board of Directors was as follows: Principal Promotora Aliada of the Archipelago Substitute Leonardo Javier Barrios, Norbert von Blom Pumier as Principal, Ana Leticia Ranuro Pacheco as Substitute, Rodrigo Echavarría Giraldo Principal, Substitute Etcher Hugo Quiroga Jimenez as Principal, Sacha Juliet Robinson Brown, and Substitute Bernardo Basilio Bush Howard.
Es la primera vez que
This is the first time in the 64 years that the Chamber has been constituted. We have a businessman as a member of the Board of Directors from the island of Providence.
The results of the Innova Call have been published. Cultural actors can check if they have been chosen for strengthening.
The result of the Innova Call, which seeks to strengthen cultural projects and activities in the island, have already been released. In the table published by the departmental government, the following stand out: Adams Hans Davis Martinez, Lola Pomier Miles, Vasco Emilio Hudson Farbs, Nelly Taylor Robinson, Ryan Joffet Baldonado Mitchell, Margiana Bue McNish, Olalia Wright Sanchez, Delina Garcia Mitchell, Constancia Pomier Davis, Wilbert Pomier McNish. Let's remember that these calls seek to highlight, promote, and support activities and projects that strengthen the culture in the tourism and enters the island, offering more than sun, beach, and sand, a cultural tourism where visitors know the essence, characteristic, dances, and traditional practices that make us a Raizal people.
Now it's time for news of the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina with Millicent O'Neill.
Good evening to all our viewers. This is the most relevant information from Old Providence and Catalina. Inhabitants of Santa Catalina denounced that since the hurricane, the island has been without public lighting, a service that continues to be charged without being provided.
Without any street lights, the main road in Catalina is lit only with the illumination that comes from the houses close to the street. The community demands that something be done about this situation that has been ongoing for more than 2 years.
We don't have no light on the road. The road is dark and the tourists them is walking on the road. If they fall down, who they want to run to? You cannot see to walk on the road. If you turn off the light of the house them, you cannot see nothing on the road. It's a darkness that we walking over here. From since pandemic until now, we don't have no light on the road.
We're critical in this thing, none light at all. One light we got is one right there. If you go down the road, not a thing. You hit on a tree or you fall off of the curb and everything. So well, let's hope this to go through and well, make them put on and start up do something on the road because they still charge it.
I left out my home 4 o'clock and the truck pick up me 5 o'clock out the town, and when time I walk for before dark I see. So sometimes I walk my tour.
For others, the only public lighting for the streets are the lights on the basketball court.
There are adults who walk around at night and there are holes. Anyone can get hurt. Besides that, there is a lot of darkness and we see many dangers. We have roads, neighborhood roads that are also in darkness, and we also need lighting.
The community of Santa Catalina is requesting a solution for this situation that is affecting them on a daily basis.
In recent days, the Sports and Culture Secretariat carried out the closing of the Ancestral Arts and Crafts Project, where several ancestral elements were exhibited.
Several experts in the elaboration of furniture, hammocks, and basket, among other ancestral elements, gathered at the Casa de la Cultura in recent days for the closing of a project that sought to safeguard the arts and ancestral crafts of the Raizal people in Providence.
Today we're doing the closing of the project Ancestral Heritage. And here we have a little exhibition about all the workshops that we do during the project. So when we invite the teachers, we invite the public, the students, them.
Some of the elements that were manufactured during the 6 months of this project were the following.
We have chair, we have table, we have bench, we have a basket width. That was one of the most important workshops for me because only one person have this knowledge on the island, and we get to transmit this to other people. So
Mr. Urbano Robinson, the last person on the island with knowledge in Raizal ancestral basketry, spoke about the use of these.
They used to use it to put orange, I used to use it to put coconut and so forth. I learned this from, I had an uncle that used to make them. And he used to make them that they can hold anywhere 25, 30 coconut. So they used to call them coconut basket.
The exhibition of the ancestral elements included gastronomic samples and typical music for the participants.
This is all we have for tonight for this section of Old Providence and Catalina. Continue with more news with Lisa in San Andres. Good night.
Thank you, Millie. With news of the municipality, we reach to the end of this broadcast. See you Sunday at 8 p.m. in Teleislas News Weekend. Good night.